Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by mountains, there lived a young man named Daniel. He was kind, hardworking, and full of dreams. But there was something that troubled him deeply. Everywhere he went, people had something to say about him. When Daniel decided to open a small shop, his neighbors whispered that he would fail. When he tried to learn something new, they laughed and said he was wasting his time. Even when he helped others, some people found fault in the way he did it. Their words followed him like shadows, and slowly those words began to change him. Daniel started doubting himself. He would lie awake at night, replaying their comments in his mind. He felt tired, not from working, but from carrying the weight of their opinions. He stopped sharing his ideas. He stopped trying new things. He became afraid of making mistakes because he knew people were watching, waiting to criticize. Days turned into months, and Daniel felt stuck. He was living his life according to what others might say, not according to what his heart wanted. He felt trapped in a cage made of other people's words. The more he tried to please everyone, the more exhausted he became. Nothing he did seemed to be enough. There was always someone with a negative comment, always someone ready to point out his flaws. One day, while Daniel sat by the river feeling hopeless, an old man came and sat beside him. The old man was a farmer who lived on the outskirts of the village. He was known for his peace and wisdom, though he rarely spoke to anyone. The old man looked at Daniel and said, "You seem heavy, my son. What troubles you?" Daniel sighed and replied, "No matter what I do, people always have something negative to say. I try my best, but it is never good enough for them. I feel like giving up." The old man nodded slowly. He stood up and said, "Come with me tomorrow morning. I want to show you something." The next morning, Daniel met the old man at his farm. The old man handed him a large sack and said, "We are going to walk to the town market together. Every time you hear someone say something negative about you, pick up a stone and put it in this sack. Carry it with you." Daniel agreed, though he did not understand why. They began their walk through the village. As expected, people started talking. One person said Daniel was too proud. Another said he was too quiet. Someone else said he worked too much. Another said he did not work enough. Each time Daniel heard something negative, he picked up a stone and placed it in the sack. At first, the sack was light, but as they walked further, more and more stones were added. By the time they reached the market, the sack had become so heavy that Daniel could barely carry it. His shoulders hurt. His back ached. He was exhausted. The old man stopped and looked at him. "How do you feel?" he asked. Daniel, breathing heavily, replied, "I feel tired. This sack is too heavy. I cannot carry it anymore." The old man smiled gently. "Now tell me, did carrying these stones change what people said about you?" Daniel shook his head. "No. They kept talking anyway." "Exactly," said the old man. "You see, my son, every negative word someone speaks is like a stone. When you hold on to it, when you carry it with you, it becomes a burden. It weighs you down. It makes you tired. But here's the truth. Those stones do not belong to you. People will always talk. They will always have opinions. But you do not have to pick them up. You do not have to carry them." Daniel stood there, silent, as the old man's words sank deep into his heart. The old man continued, "When someone throws a stone at you with their words, you have a choice. You can pick it up and carry it, or you can leave it on the ground and keep walking. The stone does not hurt you unless you hold it. The noise does not disturb you unless you listen to it." Daniel looked down at the heavy sack. Slowly, he opened it and let the stones fall to the ground, one by one. As each stone dropped, he felt lighter, freer. The weight he had been carrying for so long was not his to carry in the first place. From that day forward, Daniel began to live differently. When people criticized him, he did not argue. He did not defend himself endlessly. He simply listened, took what was useful, and left the rest behind. He stopped trying to please everyone. He stopped letting their words control his decisions. At first, it was not easy. Old habits are hard to break. But each time he felt the urge to pick up a stone, he remembered the old man's lesson. He reminded himself that he could choose what to carry and what to leave behind. Slowly, Daniel's life began to change. He felt lighter. He smiled more. He started working on his dreams again without fear. He made mistakes and he learned from them. Some people still criticized him, but their words no longer had power over him. He had learned to ignore the noise. Months passed and Daniel's small shop began to grow. Not because he was trying to prove anyone wrong, but because he was finally free to focus on what mattered. People noticed the change in him. Some were inspired, others were still critical. But Daniel no longer worried. He had found his peace. The lesson Daniel learned that day is simple, but it can change your life. People will always have opinions. Some will support you, some will doubt you, some will put you, criticize you no matter what you do. But you do not have to carry their words with you. You do not have to let their noise become your burden. Learn to ignore the noise. Take what helps you grow and leave the rest behind. Your peace is more valuable than their approval. Your journey is yours alone. Walk it with a light heart. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, the stones are not yours to carry.